Okay, that is the threshold run done. Back end of that run, literally thought it was the first time I thought in my head, wow, I'm actually going to be able to complete this half marathon. It sounds crazy. Good morning. It is the threshold test day. It's Thursday. I'm shattered. We're here. I'm parked up. Let me just show you where. I'm enjoying running in this area now. I normally pick this up as a drive. I had a really bad sleep last night and it was actually down to my dog. So my dog had a tooth taken out and he was non-stop crying. Like, I had to go sit down on the sofa with him. I was like, right, I text Freya, well I told Freya, I was like, I'm just gonna go sit on the sofa with him, and I was hoping that I would fall asleep and just, that's where I'd sleep and then he would be quiet. He gets on the sofa, he's like right cuddled against me, but he's crying every time he breathes. So I was like, nah, can't be doing this. Went back upstairs, went to bed. Then it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. He was crying and crying and crying. And I just kind of snapped a little bit, texted my dad and was like, please can you come home? Because he was staying at his girlfriend's. I was like, I can't handle this dog currently because I'm just so tired. So what a good old saint him coming back. And then I went downstairs into my living room just like, for context, I'm living at my dad's house for the next month basically until I go back to Dubai. I went just down into the living room and he's just asleep on the sofa, my dad, and my dog's just laid on the floor still crying, but not as loud. It's like very just a That's why my eyes look incredibly puffy right now, and I would normally just, like, for ease, talk while driving, but I couldn't be asked to say anything, so I was just like, take my gels, drink the electrolytes and carbs, and just drive in. I didn't even put the sound on, if you can hear. I've just been driving with mild static sound as well. So today, as I mentioned, is the threshold test day, which means on the threshold, I probably will not be picking up the phone during the run. The reason why is I have found the easy runs to be like ones where I can record, I remember it. When it comes to this, where it's 30 mins all out effort, I don't think I'll always feel I can't function that well. I just need to focus on the run. It's 41 minutes overall. We got 5 minute at a very easy pace, 1 minute which is a walk to stay loose before the main set, 30 minutes all out effort. Cool down is 5 minutes. In a zone 1 to 2, put walk and jog if you need to. Pre-activity comments: this will hurt, you've got this. Try do this workout well rested and preferably not on an empty stomach or peak heat. Well, I'm gonna say I'm not well rested, and I don't think I'm ever gonna be well rested anymore, so this is the norm. We're used to it now. But yeah, basically this is to test your lactate threshold, and it's a 30-minute time trial by yourself. I'm not allowed to do it with anyone. It should be done as if it was a race for the entire 30 minutes. We'll take the average pace and apply it to proper zones you'll be training in. And then he put, be careful to avoid the common mistake of starting too fast and slowing down, which is what I did on the last threshold. Towards the end of the time trial due to fatigue, which will produce an inaccurate result. The goal is to run the whole 30 minutes, so pace and pushing yourself accordingly. Yeah, so the one thing I failed at with the last one, and I actually had to stop with like 10 minutes to go, is I was going way too quick with the first ever one. Let me just pull up on Training Peaks the first ever lactate test. So I did 36 minutes of it on that one. Average pace, it said it was 6:08 a thing, but let me just, you can see this is where the pace was at its peak. We ran like a 5-minute kilometre, a 5:29, a 6, 6:30, 6:32, a 10:59, and then a 12:59. So you can see how I went too quick, and even my warm up was that was 6:25, which isn't bad. So you kind of get a good like idea of how like quick I went, and like I set my fastest mile from on Training Peaks. Like this isn't like anything during it. That's what we're gonna do today. So I've had to sit with the heating on absolutely high. We've now got a nice little, I don't know if you're adjusting. Oh yeah, you are. Nice little sunset, or sunrise I should say. Okay, that is the threshold run done, and it went super good. So let me just get the phone. You are resting on the car, and it makes me look very short when it's like this, but the run went, I progressively got quicker, which is really what I was aiming to do, which is great. I'm just pulling up Training Peaks so I can tell you about how that run went. So 41 minutes and 7 seconds. It was 6.73 kilometers, and then we'll pull it up. So average pace was 6:06. Now I will say the warm-up for the first 5 minutes I probably ran at a 7:30 pace, and then the cool down I ran for like 2.5 minutes of it and walked the rest because it said I could do that. So that's why the pace has changed, or like gone up a little bit. But in terms of the actual pacing, so okay, I can go through kind of kilometers. I think first K was 5 minutes 40. Then the next K was 5 minutes 46, so a little bit slower. Then the next like time was 5 minutes 35, and then this was 20 minutes in, I was running at 5:50, or 25 minutes in, I was running at 5:15, and then the final part was 5:08, which is so good, and that's like 172. So my heart rate at 5:40, my heart rate is 150 beats per minute now. Then at 5:46 I'm at around 162, and then 5:15 I'm at 172, and then the other one I'm at 572 as well. So it's a big improvement since the start, which was like 6 weeks ago, I believe, maybe 7, I'm not too sure. Then on Sunday, because I didn't say this on the last video, I ended there like just before I was going for a run, and I'm not gonna lie, that run went so bad. It was like 20 minutes and I was meant to do 45. So I have told myself I've got an hour's run on Saturday, but I'm actually doing 90 minutes of running now. That's gonna be the biggest run I've done to date on Saturday. So it'll be a little bit of a long one. I've got a friend that's gonna run with me, I think. So what I'll do is probably like talk before, then I'll bring the camera while on the run, capture some bits as I'm running, and then I'll talk about it after. Because it's quite like one of my longest runs, there'll probably be some more clips which will be quite good. But yeah, this will be a shorter week just because it's only 2 runs. But as I mentioned last video, expect me to start posting 2 videos a week starting next week. So it's the 4th, it's Thursday the 4th, so the week after. Not sure on times yet, maybe I was doing like Thursday, probably maybe like a Wednesday and a Sunday, maybe that'll work quite well. But yeah, I'm gonna get back now. It is 7:24. Got a lot of work to do today. Got to take Freya to get her nails done. Got to take Freya to pick up a rental because she's getting one. and then yeah, just keep grinding.
You know I'm seeing it so clear. I've been afraid, crying out loud. The love that
It is Saturday and it is my long run day. So we are driving to the location. Now, I haven't been set this task by my coach. He just set me 60 minutes. But on Tuesday, my run did not go to plan at all. So I kind of just only managed to do 20 minutes of the 45. We pinpointed it down to it's my fueling, especially as he didn't ask me to, but I've started tracking to make sure I'm getting enough food in. So I think before I was probably having because I know what size servings are, but I have the issue where I get super busy with work and then I forget to eat and I don't try and rectify it later in the day, so I just kind of leave it, which means I was probably having around 2,200 calories and I need 3,300. I've decided to give myself this run today. The run is going to be 2 laps of, I think it's 6.6k, maybe a little bit less. I need to double check. It's basically the 40-minute lap that I'd done when I thought it was an hour to do that run. So I'm going to do that twice, which I think will give me probably, let's say it will probably take an hour and a half. It's not as early as I would have liked. It's 6:30, but we're up and out. No one else is really about, are they? So there is one victory. Going to the usual spot to run the usual route at the moment. This is actually kind of my favourite track. So I've extended this car, so I've got it now until the 3rd of October. And we're planning on flying back to Dubai on the 5th of October, the 7th of October. So that gives me, 4 days where I won't have a car. So that gives me 4 days where I won't have a car for runs, which is fine. As we're doing a loop rather than a big continuous, I have in the car some water for after the first loop, and I packed 2 gels. I don't think I'll need 2 gels. Always worth having more than less. For post run, I've made myself an iced coffee. Got myself a fancy little glass. It's quite nice. For pre-run, I'm gonna have carbs and electrolytes, and then also for post run, we have pure electrolytes. And trust me, after every run, this is the best thing. Even if I only have half and then I have the black coffee, it's still, getting them back, replacing them. So we're actually very stocked up today in terms of equipment and stuff that we have on us, which is good. I don't know how this run's going to go. I'll bring you along, but I'm just going to sip my carbs and electrolytes, probably have half. Yeah, I think what I'll do is, because you know me, I always have 2 gels before a run. That's my breakfast. It's 40 grams of carbs, it's not loads. So I'm going to sip on this. I'll catch you on part of the run. Okay, so we're just over halfway of the first loop. About 24 minutes in.
So say a loop's going to take 40 minutes, 2 loops, hour and 20. That makes up for missing the last 25 of the other run. So the plan is do this loop, and then when I get to the car, I'm just gonna have like 5-minute refuel, then go again. I know in the grand scheme of things, compared to other people, it probably looks a bit pathetic to do this or do it like this. But firstly, still got like 4.5 months till my half marathon. Secondly, this is the furthest I'm gonna have run in sort of like time. And then thirdly, I'm training. It's not like a mock half marathon where I can't stop, or like a mock this. So, you know, just obviously the thing is that don't be, obviously push yourself, but if you set the rules for the run that you're doing, like I said, I'm going to do 2 loops of this like track, which I think is something like 6k, maybe a bit more. So as long as I'm doing that fully, got my little rest period on my station, and realistically, if you're running a race, they do have the aid stations that some people chill at. So yeah, feeling good. I think when I get to the car, I'll pick this back up and talk about my plan for the next loop. Oh, right, we are 40 minutes in. That's the first lap done. Took me 40 minutes and 20 seconds. We're in at 6:23 kilometers pace, and it is 6.31 kilometers. So we've got one more of that to do. Now, my plan is, I'm going to do it in reverse this time, because when I get up to there and then I'm running that way, it should be that way, but it's like there's a main road there. I'm running a lot quicker than I am on these back roads. So I want to do the back roads first, so I can do this at like the slower pace. And then on the, let's call it the home straight, we have a busy main road. So I should pick up the pace a little bit towards the end. So a little bit of like running when legs are slightly fatigued. I don't really care what people say. I buy them for myself, and then they don't cost that much. I'm gonna have 2 gels for the next 6k. So that's another 40 grams of carbs. So today on this run I would have had 110 grams of carbs, like without anything else, and I'm just kind of testing what my body feels good on. I honestly feel like I have to have high carbs to feel good, so it's all worth like trial and error. Closer to a race, I think what I'm going to do is start testing other gels, not like 1 week out. I think I want to have higher carb gels so I can carry less gels, so like 40 grams rather than carrying like having to take 2 of these for the 40, which I think would work so much better. So I'm gonna do a little bit of research. I'll speak to my coach as well. I ran in a jumper and now I'm absolutely dripping. So on the next one, we'll just be in t-shirt as well. Don't buy this either, they're horrid. Got about 1.5 minutes left of this recording, but I'm just gonna stand on my phone. So I will obviously catch you during the next part. We'll see how we get on. So that is the run done. It was 12.6k. It took me an hour and 20 to do, and we did it at like a 6:20 pace, which was actually really good. I just need to open the door because it's so hot. I forgot to pick this up when I was doing the second loop, as in like to actually take it with me. It was just left on the side. We are just prepping to drive back into that run. I literally thought it was the first time I thought in my head, wow, I'm actually going to be able to complete this half marathon. It sounds crazy just because I've never ran that far before. All my other runs I've had in the back of my head like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? But so many people have done a half marathon, and that was like the first run that I've got to the end and thought I could keep going. I could have done another 2 loops and 6, 12, 24, yeah, would have done a half marathon. Feeling very positive. This week's video, well, when it comes out, I understand is a little bit slower, just shorter, just because of everything that went on the last week. So this is kind of like a 2 run. Last week's was a 3 run, which will be posted this Sunday that comes. I need to sort out my posting schedule, but starting next week, as I've mentioned in the last video and clips in this video as well, it will be going up to 2 videos a week. One more like educational slash like stuff like what I eat, what I fuel, equipment and stuff like that, and just maybe talk a bit about fat loss as well, and then we'll continue with the daily accountability, well, the run accountability with the Sundays. That's what basically this started for, was the Sunday, was to just post it, to keep myself accountable to actually doing my runs, and I think it's actually worked wonders. So, got my new coffee mug, gonna enjoy, it's about 330ml of coffee. It's literally just black with nothing else. Then I've got some electrolytes to sip on as well, but I want to finish this first. Sounds counterproductive, drinking the coffee first and then the electrolytes. I've just noticed I crash when I get home after runs, so we're trying it where, I was speaking to Freya about it, where I just have caffeine before I leave. Hopefully it keeps me going. Then I get back and then shower and straight into a work block. So I will catch you in next week's video. Bye.